there everybody, my name is Kendra and welcome to the Storybook Skeins podcast. This is a regular series. I'd like to say every 2 weeks, although I think it's been more than that this time, but maybe about twice a month, where I come on here and kind of let you know all the things I have been up to, what I've been working on. Most of this is kind of related to things along the fiber arts line, lots of knitting, spinning, sewing, crocheting, dyeing, other things along that line. However, I do try to kind of just update with the things that I've been working on the last couple weeks. So as is for many of you, I've been busy preparing for Christmas here, and I have made some Christmas presents. However, most of those were made earlier in the year, and in the last few weeks I've been working on just some fun family things, some Christmas outfits for the kids, and just some other projects. So let's jump in with some finished objects for the week. The very first one you may notice here is my Risen Sweater by Melanie Berg. I made this out of some yarn that I have dyed. It's kind of, I think of it as being kind of a denim-ish kind of look. Different grays, navies, and some pops of blue as well. It's just an open face cardigan, and I've just been really enjoying wearing this. It kind of goes with a lot of what I have, and yeah, it's just really easy to wear. I went with the 3/4 length sleeve, and yeah, it's a 80% merino, 20% nylon fingering weight sweater, so it's thin, but yeah. Anyways, that's very happy to have completed this and am able to wear it now. My next finished object was almost completed last week, however it wasn't quite done, and that is this Prairie Fire top by Tin Can Knits. I made this for my 3-year-old. It is, there's lots of variations and things you could do, but I made the short sleeve version and the 4 to 6 year size, and so it's a little long on her, more of like kind of a tunic top sort of thing. So it has this lace panel in the front, and then it comes around on the back as well a little bit. It's not quite laying flat, although it's been worn for pictures recently. And anyways, I made this out of wool-like yarn in the mauve colorway, and I held it 2 strands. Double-stranded for more of a DK weight, which is what the pattern called for. And yeah, even though it is acrylic, it's very soft, and there is the completed version of this sweater. So after I finished that, I still had some yarn left, and I wanted to make something for my son as well. And I think I had mentioned previously I was looking at making him a little vest, and I ended up making the Diamondback Argyle vest pattern. And now this is a pattern by Jane Tanner, and I just used some acrylic worsted weight that I had on hand in the black and gray as the contrast colors, and this is what my little vest looks like. I believe I made the smallest size available. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, which is the size 2. Yeah, so you work the diamonds in, and I did modify it a little bit because the pattern called to use intarsia, I don't know, but I ended up just doing it stranded, since I don't know, I guess that's what I've done more of, and it just seemed like it would work. They're not huge spaces over the diamonds to carry the yarns through, and I don't think it'll be too loopy or anything. Not to mention when it's worn, it'll always kind of have a shirt underneath it, so don't think it will be a problem. But that is this sweater, and I think that this as a pair looks pretty cute. And I tried taking a few Christmas pictures, although they didn't turn out very happy, so hopefully on Christmas Eve when they get worn again, we'll get some better pictures. So it's pretty good for me to have finished 3 garments this month. They're small ones, but they're still, you know, really fulfilling, I guess, to be able to kind of start an end a project and have them done and wearable. So I'm really happy to have completed that, especially before Christmas. I've had lots of time to spare, and it wasn't really a rush in the end. But the next finished object is a pair of vanilla socks. I knit these out of some yarn that I dyed. It's a 80/20 blend, and yeah, I just was trying out a self-striping colorway. I do this the same way I've been knitting all of my vanilla basic socks. I used a contrast skein that I had also dyed with this gray tonal color, and I just start off, I believe these ones, I started off with 16 stitches, and then I do a row increasing every stitch to get 32, and then at the beginning of end of every needle I increase until I get to 56 stitches, and then just work my way up the foot. I then go on to do a fish, lips, kiss, heel, and I did 1 by 1 twisted rib at the top of these. I also knit all of my socks 2 at a time, magic loop, and so yeah, these have just been kind of an ongoing easy project that have been completed, and I've had them sitting on these blockers because I was going to record this last week and didn't get there, so I'm really excited to take them off and put them on my feet already. So after I finished those socks, I had a little bit of scrap left, and I actually ended up knitting the leg a little longer than I usually do, just because I don't want to end up with all these little bits and pieces. I know some people don't mind and make blankets and things, but for me, I'd rather kind of take care of it while I have it, so I don't have as much stuff just sitting around. So I got started and made a little hat. This hat is the baby swirl hat pattern, I think it's called. It's a free one on Ravelry again. I just made it more of a doll size by shortening the height of it and increasing a little bit more rapidly so it would just, you know, fit a doll better. We have lots of different sizes of dolls, so it's just kind of stretchy and fits the wild hair under on this one, or it could be used with a rolled up brim on a smaller doll as well. Fits the wild hair under on this one, or rolled up brim here. Anyways, again, just trying to think of little quick projects that use up the ends of the yarn so the projects get done. To me, it's really satisfying to get it completely finished, and I used up every scrap of yarn to make this hat. So that was really nice, fun project, and just was something that I know will get used since dollies get a lot of play around here. So after I finished up all those projects, I kind of felt like taking a deep breath. I had literally nothing left that I was knitting on, and yeah, didn't really work on anything for maybe a week or so, and it was just kind of like it was just a break time. I know it's really busy this time of year, and so that obviously just kind of added on. But I ended up getting some yarn, which is by Loops and Thread, just the Michaels brand yarn. It is called Lush Alpaca in the teal color, and it's a super bulky yarn, which was not what I'm used to knitting. But it was, yeah, I thought I'd cast it on as kind of a palette cleanser sort of project. I'm making something similar to the picture, however, I'll be making the Getting Warmer pattern. It's a cowl neck that I think for me I'll mostly wear just like with a jacket, really warm. It goes over your shoulder up as like a neck warmer almost. And so it is just started for me, not too much done. I'm just on the ribbing. It starts bottom up. I think it calls for around 27 rows of ribbing, so I'm maybe halfway there and have a lot left to go. But after the ribbing, it's just garter stitch and really simple. No, you don't need to pay too much attention, and like I said, with the big needles, it's kind of just something different than what I've been working on lately. So this yarn is very soft. It's acrylic alpaca blend. However, it's kind of shedding, but it has a nice halo from all the alpaca, and squishy and soft. However, yeah, there's like little pieces sticking everywhere, so that's fun. The other thing I've just been working on, as like I said, also I don't have any big projects on the needles yet, is just my spinning. You can see it here. I've still just been working on the same as before, this grayish color that I had dyed up. It's 100% merino, and feels like I've made quite a bit of progress, although it's kind of hard to see. It looks probably similar to the last time I showed it, just more of the same. But it's just nice and methodical, and yeah, just something really fun to be working on. While I'm there, I thought I'd just stop for a second because I had a comment not that long ago of someone who was thinking, what's the point in spinning when you can go buy yarn? And I know people say that about knitting too, right? What's the point of knitting if you can go buy a sweater? And like, I thought I would just mention that for a moment because I was thinking about it in terms of not just enjoying the practice of it, like I knit because I like it, not just because I want the knitted end result. Same with spinning, something that's really enjoyable about yeah, just the repetitive process of it, feeling the fiber in your hands, and it's just kind of that relaxing, grounding sort of experience. And then I was also thinking of it in light of kind of the whole do-it-yourself movement, or whatever it is, how enjoyable it is and how satisfying to be able to do something for yourself and kind of take it back a step. So for me, if that's something like cooking, I want to not just be able to put something together, I want to be able to, you know, make the bread to go with it. And imagine if I could take it back a step further and, you know, grow the wheat. That's something we've talked about before. Wouldn't that be so cool if you could do that and be a part from the very beginning, basically? or gardening, you know. Yes, you can go buy things at the store, but it's so fun to be able to plant the seed and see it grow and then prepare, you know, the next step. You can take those tomatoes and make it into your salsa, and you know, it's the enjoyment of the whole process. And to me, it's the same thing with spinning, that it's not only fun to do the knitting, to do the spinning, but then to be able to be a part beginning to end. And that's not even including raising the sheep or shearing it or carding it or any of those other steps involved. But it's just the being able to see a project all the way through, and to imagine doing that, you know, people used to do that a long time ago, and that was just kind of how you had to do it if that's what you wanted to do. You can't just, you know, order online. Anyways, not really with the point, but thought I would mention it while on spinning today. Alright, so I also have some sewing to share with you today. I had mentioned a few weeks ago that I picked up some fabric during the Simplify Fabric Black Friday sale. They were having like buy a meter, get a meter free on their, what is it, Organa cotton stretch jersey, that cotton 10% lycra or something like that. And so it works really well for kids clothes or adult clothes, things like that. So this is the first of the Christmas PJs that I made. I had picked up this green color, which was, I believe, apple green, and the body, which was watermelon. However, I was expecting the watermelon to be a little more of like a peachy red or pinky red color. However, it's more of this peach, which makes it a little less Christmassy, but still pretty cute. So I made supposed to be a nightgown for my coming up on 4-year-old, and a top and bottom set for my son, who's just over a year and a half. Just show them quickly here, and then I'll tell you about the patterns. So these are the green body with the peachy is, yeah, for my son, and then the peach body with the green for my daughter. So I think it's a pretty cute matching set. The tops I made from the Naptime Creations free raglan short pattern, and it's just a free print off from the internet. Naptime Creations is who makes it, and it had both the sizes I needed, which was perfect for me, and I just extended it for the nightgown. I tried to think about, you know, shaping and everything, but basically just made it out in more of a A-line sort of shape, just to allow for comfort while sleeping, and made it a little bit longer and brought it out a bit as I went. This is quite long on her, and I know it will fit for a while yet, which will be good in case she has a growth spurt or something coming up. Yeah, and we took our Christmas pictures in these, so I think I really like how they kind of came out this year. Oh, and so yeah, the pants I made were just the Love Notions legging pattern. That's another free one again. Let me just, yeah, it's just a print off, another free pattern you can get online. I'll try to link it below in the description box if you're interested in making it yourself. I've made these a bunch of times. I think it looks like it goes all the way up to size 14. I'm not sure what I have it cut to even right now. But I have it cut to the size 2. I'm not sure if it goes lower than that or not, but yeah, I've made these quite a few times. There's an option of the waist height to make it either with the yoga waistband or to fold it over and do an elastic waistband. I've done it both ways, but this pair I thought I would use the contrast color and go for the yoga waistband so it can be worn up or folded over. And it's kind of like the Grow With Me pants. I put the cuffs on the bottom so you could roll them up as well, and they are quite a fitted leg on them. And so yeah, I think it works pretty well for PJs and makes for a cute little outfit set. One more sewing project I made, however it's currently wrapped and under my tree, is when I made this Simplify Fabric order, I ordered some of their bamboo linen, which is lightweight pant material, and I made my husband a pair of house pants. He always tries to steal a pair of mine that I have that I picked up, I had purchased them before. And I always thought I could make him a pair, but just never really got around to it. So I picked up a few yards of that and made him his own pair. And I used this super old pattern. It's a new look. And yeah, let's see, I made a drawstring waist. I believe, yeah, version C on here, one of these ones. Folded cuff, drawstring waist. Just a very simple, baggy pant, and I used to make pajama pants for all of us. I've made adult pants from this or something similar a number of times, so it's just like that. I did put in the pockets this time, and I'm not super happy with how they turned out, but they're there and they're okay. They just have a bit of a funny shape to them. I'm not sure if that was my mistake or if that was from the pattern. I don't think I've put pockets on them using this pattern before. But yeah, it's kind of funny that it goes with these regular shirts that looks kind of like the ones I just made as well, but he only got the pants and they are wrapped, so I can't quite share them. But if I get a picture before I post this episode, I will put it in. So that was another little project to work on. I thought I'd also just mention my next kind of sewing projects while we're here. So when I had ordered that fabric, I ordered two colors here. This is kind of a blue-gray, just the muted blue, as well as the actual gray. And I'm going to make myself, I want to make, let's see, I'm trying to remember how much I ordered now, but for sure a t-shirt. I was thinking one t-shirt and one more of a tunic top. However, maybe they will both be longer if I feel like I have enough fabric, but haven't measured it out yet. But I have printed off a pattern here, and I'm going to be making the, printed off the pattern and I'm getting it together. It's just called The Tea, and it's by Cake Patterns. It has a little pocket on the front. And yeah, very simple. There's a V-neck option and a scoop neck option, and I think it would be pretty simple to extend to make into a tunic. A few weeks ago I had shown you one that I just kind of put together by tracing over a shirt, which worked pretty well, and it's not like all that different. It just gives me a little more of an outline to base my top off of, just to ensure that it will fit a little better. And yeah, that's kind of my plans for those. Nothing too wild or crazy, very straightforward and basic, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that done and being able to wear it. This fabric is very soft, and yeah, it's good for PJs. I think it's going to be really good for daytime as well, and just something that'll be great, especially for around the house and just really cozy and comfortable. Yeah, so that's the plan with these fabrics for sewing. I do have another sewing project that's Christmas related that's not quite put together yet, but I thought I would mention it. So for the kids this year, my husband and I are actually kind of making together, and it's not maybe going to make sense until I get some video or pictures of it completed. So I picked up 3 of Walmart's cheapest pillows. They're $3.50 each, which really works out to cheaper than buying the fiber fill stuffing. And I was thinking about just going to the fabric store to picking up some kind of fabric. However, they had these fleece throw blankets on for $2.50 or something like that. And so I bought 2 of those to make covers for them. So I used 2 pillows and made just full-size pillowcases out of this greenish teal fleece fabric, and they're just removable and are going to go as the base. And then I took the 3rd pillow and cut it in half and made 2 of these smaller long skinny ones, thinking that each of our 2 kids could have their own pillow in there. And the last bit is made into a blanket that can go over top, just because I had extra, and I think it will make it nice and cozy for when they are in there. So that was another just easy sewing project, but I really, it's one of those things you appreciate knowing how to sew, to be able to make something the size and shape and everything that you want it to be able to fit in there. So I'm hoping to get some pictures at least of the completed look. However, it needs another coat or 2 of paint. Today is the 23rd, so we'll see if that's done. If I don't get it in this clip, then check out my Instagram. I'll try to post some pictures on there when I get the chance as well. Alright, the very last thing I wanted to share with you today, that was pretty much all of my usual making, is just related to bullet journaling. Now this is something probably lots of you have heard of. If you haven't, it's just a system of making notes more than anything, and it's fairly methodical the way it was kind of designed. However, if you look on YouTube, there are tons of videos of people doing just really artistic spreads and layouts and just ways of kind of tracking and organizing your life. And I've never really been much of a planner or been very good at it. However, this fall things have gotten a lot busier than normal, and I've really appreciated some more organization in my life and being able to kind of track when to do things and just to keep my timeline in check to getting things done for Christmas and being able to post some things to my Etsy shop and, you know, just getting things done in a timely manner. So I've been appreciating and using systems like that more than I have in the past. So I thought I would share with you what my plans are for 2017. You know, I'm not really confident of just jumping in full on bullet journal, and my biggest reason for this is because the way that a lot of people set them up is with this nicely, not graphed, but I don't know, monthly spreads that are very precise, and I think the pressure of that seems like it's going to be too much. So I thought I would organize things a little bit different, and for me, I decided to go with a regular planner from Michaels. This is just the 2018. There was Michael's sale a few weeks ago. I think it was $15, but they'll probably go on sale again between now and, well, the next few weeks at least. So with this, I really appreciate that there's both the monthly calendar and then also the weekly setup. Now, I don't think I'll be using this for work stuff or anything. That's all confidential and needs to stay locked up at work. However, I thought I could kind of block in my work time and then also note everything from household tasks to where the kids are that day, if they're at daycare or grandma's house or wherever they're going to be. I was just trying to keep organized if I want to keep on doing things like making the occasional YouTube video or posting yarn or dyeing yarn or, you know, all these sorts of things, just to kind of keep things in line there. So that's just a pretty basic traditional planner system. However, I decided to go with a small notebook style that's kind of like dipping my toes into the bullet journaling thing. And so this is not very artistic, it's just me jumping in, hoping to try a few things. And I've left lots of blank pages, trying different markers and things, and it's going to be more list style. Now these few weeks are just set 2017, so that's, I thought I would jot down a few things before jumping into my 2018 planner. But I started a spread, and you'll see I'm still experimenting with what kinds of pens are bleeding through, so there's some issues there. But this was my idea, being a knit tracker and keeping track of the patterns I'm interested in knitting and then what my yarn choice would be, and then as well as a start and end date. And so this is not only just like to keep me on track, but as a look back. Because as I've been thinking of 2017, I haven't really kept anything organized, and so I was really hard pressed to figure out, like, so how many socks did I actually knit this year? Because I post some on Instagram and I've shared some on YouTube, and yeah, anyways, it's just kind of all over the place. And so I don't think this is like a forever spread. I'm just kind of experimenting with it for now, and to hope to figure out what information is even most important to me. But even having, you know, something written down, I think will be really helpful. So yeah, that was my start with that. And then I also listed a few things because in this next year, I'd really like to focus on doing more Etsy updates, and with that, like sharing more on Instagram, like more yarn related stuff, because things like that always are the first things to kind of fall by the wayside. And post more regularly here on YouTube, more of these regular update sorts of videos. So I have a few pages I just put on with some information, both I wanted to be kind of ideas, like whether that be like video ideas or what my plans are for when I want to have my Etsy updates, things like that. And then I also put in my show notes for today for this video. So I'm not really sure where that's going to go from here. I would really like to be able to keep better track of things and just have everything together. I do have, like, in the past, I've used just a regular notebook and just jotted things down from grocery lists to whatever. However, I find it really hard to find what I'm looking for. So I'm hoping by having like some set pages to put things that I can, whenever I have like a knitting idea, I can put it in that, you know, file it away basically, where I can find it again instead of like wondering, did I put that in my physical notebook, or did I write that down on my phone, or did I text that to someone, or where did that idea go? So anyways, I'll check back on whether that ends up being actually helpful or whether it's just a good idea that ends up being more work or not. So that is all I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to watch this and see what I have been up to. I really hope that if you enjoyed this episode, you will subscribe for more videos in the future, and feel free to like it or leave me a comment and I will respond in the comments below, or else you can find me on Instagram as @Storybook Skeins. All right, until next time, thank you, and we will see you then. Bye.